Okay, so this is one that's been very highly praised by most X-Men fans, as I've been informed after I upload my initial written review. But I don't think it's the best movie of the X-Men. Is it better than the original trilogy? Yes. Is it the best of the mainline X-Men movies? Yes. But is it the best X-Men movie overall in the entire series? No. This movie does have a few issues, and we do gotta talk about it, so. Please understand this is nothing more than my completely subjective personal opinion, and if you're one of the people that loves this movie or would give it an even higher score than me, I can understand why. Just respect my opinion and I'll respect yours. Fair? Fair. What's up, let's have something going back to the animation and different animation, including TVs and movies as well. I'm your host, Jackson Small. Welcome back to X Month. Let's talk about X-Men Days of Future Past. This is a movie that I've wanted to see for a while, but I never really worked up the motivation to see it until now. Like, it came and went when it initially came out. I saw trailers, but I didn't really pay attention all that much. But until now, I have not seen it. But now that I have seen it, what can I say about it? It is a great film. Absolutely. It's a great film. I can see why it's a fan favorite among X-Men fanatics. But it's not the best of the overall series. I don't have a super long written review for this one, but I think it's decently detailed, and I do hope that you enjoy, and I hope it does a decent job showing my personal thoughts and opinion. This kind of feels like the same deal as The Wolverine. A great film, and one of the best of the series, but also marred by a pretty bad third act. Also, before you ask, yes, I know about the road cut, but for the sake of time, I'm only focusing on the theatrical version. I.e., don't put it in my comments section because I already know it exists. So, pros. Great acting, fantastic storytelling. Like, this is a time travel story, and usually these fall apart unless you're Back to the Future, but they did it surprisingly well in this movie, and it's pretty well balanced, so props to them for actually doing a time travel story that's not a flaming car wreck. Hugh Jackman's Wolverine is still being amazing, as he takes more of a mentor role this time rather than a straightforward soldier. The Wolverine in this movie is a lot more humble. He's a lot less vicious than he used to be. Like, he'll step up if he needs to, but he's a lot more reasonable. And he has to act as a mentor to this younger Charles when he gets sent back in time after his time in the future becomes under threat by the Sentinels. Again, things pulled straight out of the comics. The casts of both the original trilogy and First Class are great and deliver fantastic performances. For the most part. There's still one in here that was bad in her movie and is still bad in this. But everyone else here, James McAvoy, Hugh Jackman, I'm forgetting names. Patrick Stewart, Ian McKellen, Michael Fassbender, Nicholas Hoult. They're all fantastic here. Heck, even freaking Peter Dinklage as Trask is surprisingly good here too. The fights are cool, the deaths are shocking and brutal. There are some deaths in this movie, and they are pretty brutal, despite the fact that this was a theatrically released PG-13 movie. Pacing is excellent, runtime is long, but it fits the story. This movie's almost 2.5 hours. It's a long movie, but a lot like some of the Pirates movies, I think it kind of works. And unlike X2, it doesn't drag its feet. Rewatchability is high. Callbacks to the original trilogy are very nostalgic and do bring a smile to my face. And the ending is surprisingly heartwarming. This movie does have a happy ending, and it's a really uplifting happy ending. However, there's still some problems we gotta talk about. And it's the one bad performance in the movie. Jennifer Lawrence is still not a good Mystique. Look, I have nothing against Jennifer Lawrence. I loved her in The Hunger Games, and she has proven herself to be a very good actress. But my freaking goodness gracious, was she miscasted in this role. I don't buy her as a villain, I don't buy her as a character, and I don't buy her as someone portraying the character. I just see Jennifer Lawrence being Jennifer Lawrence cosplaying as Mystique, not actually performing as the character. Sorry, she didn't work for me in First Class, and she doesn't work for me here. The third act derails the majority of the movie just for the sake of yet another terrible excuse of a twist reveal. Not going to say who it is, even though it's blatantly obvious, but it's another pretty bad twist reveal. The villains, excluding the Sentinels, are very, very bland. And while I appreciate the ambition of the time travel stuff, it got really confusing in the second half of the film. Also, they tried to recreate the F-bomb from First Class that Wolverine dropped in his cameo, and here it just completely failed, because it wasn't even funny. So, overall, this is on par with the Wolverine. It's a fantastic movie that mostly delivered on everything it promises, but unfortunately, in the home stretch, it stumbled. And that's a huge shame, because if this nailed the ending, this could have been like a 10 out of 10 movie, considering the source material it's working off of. But, unfortunately, it's just not quite there, because Mystique is supposed to be the big main villain of the movie, and I don't buy it in the slightest. The time travel stuff in the second half of the movie gets super freaking confusing, and the entire third act of the movie almost derails the entire movie. But it is what it is. It's still definitely worth a watch, especially if you are an X-Men fan, and again, the heartwarming ending is a really nice thing to see. So, with all that said, final verdict for this movie is the same I gave the Wolverine. It's a 9 out of 10. It's a great film, but the third act almost completely derails it. It is what it is. But next time, we're talking about my favorite X-Men movie. That's no hyperbole. See you next time for Logan.
We cannot take it anymore.